No, but seriously, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Seriously, this is too much. Even for me, an old tifoso, and I've seen a lot of things in my life, this is too much. This is the icing. This is la crème. I can't believe what is happening. It's totally a disaster. Did you ever hear about the law of Murphy, Murphy's law, that is saying what can go wrong will go wrong? Well, from today, the 17th of January 2025, we can give it a new name. Without any doubt. We call it La Loi de Muani. Muani's law. No, but what can go wrong will go wrong. Guys, I mean, seriously, listen really well to me. The guy should have been there already in the early afternoon of Wednesday with the plane. But no, suddenly, the fog in Paris that meant that the private jet was postponed 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, I believe even 4 times. J Medical were waiting to do the medicals like they did for Alberto Costa, so that he was immediately at disposal on Thursday, training on Thursday, training on Friday, training on Saturday, and in the evening playing against Milan. And no, the fog said no. The fog said no. So cancelled medicals, everything postponed on Thursday. It's not over. That's only the first thing. Can happen, you will tell me. No, because then the videos, the pictures posted by Juventus Football Club suddenly totally removed. They were cancelled. People started to panic. What is happening to Kolo Muani? Did he change his mind? Was West Ham on a plane to take the player? What about Arsenal? What about Tottenham? Guys, what is happening? Did he change his mind? Because, I don't know, he didn't like the air of Torino. The J Hotel was not nice enough for him. I don't know. Then the theories came. The branding, maybe it's because of the branding that they cancelled the pictures. Then at the end, a credible source was telling us it is because Paris Saint-Germain is playing in Coupe de France. And because of that, to respect the club that was playing, and at the end the player is still a Paris Saint-Germain player, Juventus removed the thing. And that's already the second thing, but it's not over, huh? Because now, listen really carefully what I will tell you. If you don't believe me that what can go wrong will go wrong in that one, well, listen to that. Paris Saint-Germain, suddenly, they realize that the slots to loan out players are full. So they cannot loan Kolo Muani to Juventus Football Club. What a disaster. Ragazzi, ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. Put a maximum of like. If you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe. Guys, we are pumping with the videos. And unfortunately, I would have loved just to go with one video a day telling you what is happening, what is not happening. We are already until here with the Cambiaso affair. By the way, I have an update about Cambiaso at the end of the video, but let's focus first on Kolo Muani. Unfortunately, we need to speak multiple times a day because everything is happening. It's a saga. It's a disaster. So I explain you what is happening step by step. At a certain moment, in press conference, the journalist is asking to Thiago Motta, Thiago, what about Kolo Muani? Can he be at disposal for the game of tomorrow? He said, look, player is doing well, physically, he's motivated. We are just fixing a few administrative things. From the moment that it will be okay, the player will be at disposal of tomorrow. If too late, if we are not able to do it fast enough, it will be for the next game. Pay attention, not the one of Champions League, the next game in Serie A, because in Champions League it cannot be inserted at the moment. Okay, but what are these administrative things and why can't we solve them? Because at the end, it's a player that is from Europe. It's not an extra European player. It's a player from Europe, France. It's a player that is coming on loan, so there is not even big money that is involved for... No. So what is happening? Well, in the evening, Antonio Corsa, really reliable, friend of me, he writes on Twitter, pay attention, there is possibly a problem between Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus. What is that problem? And that's when we start to discover that actually Juventus has the signature of the player. The player medicals are totally perfect. There is nothing from a medical point of view. Juventus has the signature with the player. They agreed with Paris Saint-Germain, everything, but that's where Paris Saint-Germain, they realize that the slots to loan out players are off. You know it? You have a limited numbers, according to FIFA, of players that you can loan out, and I believe it is 6, maximum 6 players. Except, of course, of under 21 where you can go, or except of players that you grew up in your youth academy. Except of that, the new other players, it's 6. And actually, Kolo Muani, bad luck for Juve, it's number 7. So they cannot. Is it a huge disaster? Is it over? Will we send back Kolo Muani to Paris? No, I reassure you, like Fabrizio Romano was also reassuring us, Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain, they are totally confident, they're absolutely not worried. They will find a solution, they will solve it as soon as possible, really shortly, in time to play against Milan, because don't forget, tomorrow it's Saturday. I'm not sure if people will work in the administrative things of Italy or in Paris to actually fix things so that Kolo Muani will be there. I start really to doubt that Kolo Muani will be on the bench against Milan, which is a disaster because we recuperate Dusan Vlahovic. And it would have been fun to have an alternation between Dusan and Kolo Muani, one of two, so that at least together they can play 90 minutes, one a bit, the other one a bit, but I'm really scared that he will not be there. But anyway, if you're looking at the long term, it's not even long, because it's until the end of the season, the solution could be that Paris Saint-Germain, they have one of the players, one of the goalkeepers that they loaned out, Lucas Lavallée, that possibly they can or sell permanently for a really low fee, or they can call back the player so that there is no loan anymore. And that's what they will try to do as soon as possible. On time, again, I don't know. But that's the solution. So there is actually no problem to see Kolo Muani wearing the number 20 at Juventus Football Club. Reassured? Yes, but guys, this is really a disaster. And sometimes I'm asking me, is it really the Muani's law? Is it because of Muani, or is it maybe sometimes the bad luck over the head of La Continassa, over the head of Vinova, over the head of Juve? Because it's not the first time that we have these kinds of really strange cases. I don't know if you remember, Berbatov, that was on the plane from England to go to Fiorentina, decides to go to Juve. All the people were celebrating. At the end, he asked the plane to go back in playing in another club in UK. What a disaster. It's not over. Huh? Do you remember the Suarez case? That everyone was believing that he had a European passport as well. That was like that, but it was not valid to play in Italy. And he needed also to do the exams. We gave up before, and then what a disaster, the Luis Suarez case. Do you remember Witsel that was in the offices of Juve waiting the entire day that Zenit would fax the documents to agree that Witsel could have gone and become a Juve player? What a disaster. He waited all day for nothing because he never became a Juve player. Patrick Schick, the medicals, the pictures, super happy that he was there, and then we found something and he had to go with Mamma mia. Well, all these players, they flopped. Kolo Muani should not flop. When I'm saying should not flop because you never know in life. Huh? Anyway, the press conference. Why didn't I do a video dedicated to press conference? Because I didn't want to let you lose your time. There were only two things that were interesting and actually really late in that press conference. We saw really a nervous Thiago Motta. He hates doing these press conferences. He was in the beginning really answering with a yes, no question. So it was not really a beautiful discussion. Even the journalists. Now, honestly, you know that I'm always against some journalists for the question that they are asking, but it's not easy. It's really not easy. But at a certain moment, you know, there were questions about Cambiaso, and that's a big one. He said, you know, I don't speak about Mercato, but he said Cambiaso will play tomorrow. So Cambiaso will play tomorrow. On the other side, multiple times there was this question or change of words to go towards will he leave or not. Where Thiago Motta multiple times said he will play tomorrow, but not a single time he said it's not true, it's fake news, the player stays 100%. No. So he didn't deny any Mercato voice, so something is really happening. So can I tell you today that Cambiaso will stay or will leave? It's more he will leave. If Thiago Motta is not even denying a single time in all the questions that were about Cambiaso, guys. But I think he wants also to send a message to the club, but also to the player. As long as you're here, you're extremely important to us. Tomorrow, against Milan, in our stadium, I don't care about all the voices tomorrow you play. Then, at a certain moment, it was the last question. He received that question about the journalist that said, did you ever ask a club to not sell a player, an untouchable player? Where he says, yes. And you know what happened? They sold them with a big laugh and then he leaves. Of course, we don't know if he's referring in his entire coaching career with Paris Saint-Germain, with Bologna, with Spezia, or with Juve. We don't know if he's speaking specifically about this summer to June. We don't know. We will never know. It was a joke, but that means that whatever club that he has been to, when he's asking for players to be untouchable, guys, in Italy, it's like that. It's not like in UK, or it's not like in Football Manager, where the coach is deciding who comes in, who comes out. He can, of course, be asked to, he can give his opinion, he can be involved at a certain moment, he can have some preferences, but a coach is never deciding, and this is really a reality. Why is the game of tomorrow against Milan also important? I tell you, because tomorrow, apparently, after the game, Milan, well, apparently Juventus will ask to Milan to sell us Tomori, or at least to make another attempt. It's really strange, and because even if from Milan they are sending signs that after, what's the name there of the guy, Pavlovic, that will leave after Ciao that is injured. Well, Tomori should stay after 4 games as a starter. He should stay right with Milan. We're all thinking the game is over for Tomori to Juve. Well, there are other sources that are really saying that Juventus wants to go for him. Why? Because he wants really to join Juve. He thinks really that his journey with Milan is over. So let's see. On the other side, as I told you in the video of this morning, Danso is still there on top, and Lens is even opening. So it depends. At the moment, we cannot promise you who will be one of the center backs. We cannot tell you who will be the second one. I don't know how many there will be, but Juventus is still working on defense on the 17th of January. Hopefully, when we find the real defender that should join, it will not happen what's happening with Kolo Muani. But I mean, it's the Muani's law. It's not the Danso's law. It's not the Skriniar law. It's not the Hanchko law. Well, I think so. I hope so. Ragazzi, put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza. Juve.